Welcome to another deep dive. Today we're heading to a place you might not have heard of, Layan. It's in Phuket, Thailand.
Layan. Okay, I'm intrigued. Not exactly the first spot that comes to mind when you think Phuket, though, right? What makes Layan so special?
Well, let me tell you, I've been reading this fascinating article, Layan, Phuket's best-kept secret for ultra-luxury villas. It really caught my eye.
Sounds fancy. Where'd you find this article? Some travel blog or...
It's actually from Ocean Worldwide. They're a big deal in luxury real estate, especially in Phuket. They've been around since 2004.
Okay, so they know what they're talking about then. Phuket real estate, luxury villas. I'm listening.
Yeah, their director, Sandra O'Neill, has helped tons of families and investors find amazing properties, not just in Phuket, but Koh Samui too. So, they've got the experience.
All right, you've got my attention. So what's this article actually saying about Layan? What makes it stand out from the rest of Phuket?
It's all about peace and exclusivity. Quiet beaches, lush landscapes, real escape from the crowds.
Sounds nice, but plenty of places promise that. What's different about Layan?
Well, the villas themselves are incredible. Architectural marvels, they call them. Seamless indoor-outdoor living. Infinity pools overlooking the Andaman Sea.
That classic blend of nature and luxury. A lot of places try to pull that off, though. What makes Land's approach unique?
They go into detail about using natural materials, making sure the designs blend with the environment, that kind of thing. And the amenities. You name it, they've got it. Private gyms, home cinemas, rooftop gardens, massive sun decks. It's on another level.
Definitely sounds extravagant, but is it all just about fancy stuff? True luxury should be about more than just possessions, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. And the article gets into that too. They talk about experiences, personalization, making life effortless. They even mention things like private chefs and live-in butlers.
Wow. So it's not just a nice house, it's a whole curated lifestyle. Sounds pretty tempting. But I imagine Lane is pretty isolated, right?
Actually, that's what's interesting. They emphasize that it's secluded, not isolated. Easy to get to Phuket's high-end spots, shops, even the airport.
So you get the peace and quiet, but you're not totally cut off from the world. Best of both worlds, huh?
Exactly. Speaking of best, what about Layan as an investment? Not just a vacation spot, but something more.
I was just thinking that. The article definitely hints at that. It seems like Lane is getting popular with investors, especially because there aren't many of these luxury properties and rental yields are strong.
Wait, hold on. You're saying you could potentially live this amazing lifestyle and make money from it?
That's the idea. There are different ownership options for foreigners too, like leaseholds or freehold through Thai companies, and even condo freehold.
Okay, break that down for me. What do those terms actually mean, especially for someone who's not a real estate expert?
Sure. So with the leasehold, you're basically leasing the land and villa for a certain period, usually around 30 years, with the option to renew. It's a bit like a long-term rental, but for a luxury villa.
Sounds like a good way to test the waters before committing to buying, right? But what happens after those 30 years?
That's the catch. You need to figure out if you can renew, how much it'll cost, and what happens to the property's value over time.
Makes sense. Okay, so what about owning freehold through a Thai company? That sounds complicated.
It does involve some legal steps, but it's a common way for foreigners to buy land in Thailand. Basically, you create a Thai company, that company buys the property, and you, as a foreigner, own most of the company's shares, giving you control.
Ah, a clever way to get around those foreign ownership rules.
Right.
I bet that requires some serious legal help, though.
Definitely. That's where a company like Ocean Worldwide comes in. They're pros at guiding foreign investors through this whole process.
So for anyone seriously thinking about land, talking to experts is probably a good idea. Now, what about that condo freehold option? What's the deal with that?
That one's the most straightforward. You buy a unit in a condo building outright. The downside is foreigners can only own up to 49% of the building. The rest has to be owned by Thai nationals.
So it's simpler to buy, but you don't have full control over the building's ownership. Each option has its pros and cons.
Exactly. Choosing the right one depends on your situation, your goals, and how much risk you're comfortable with. It's a big decision.
For sure. So we've got these incredible villas, amazing location, different ways to buy. But is land only about luxury and exclusivity? Is there more to it?
Well, the article touches on something really interesting. It seems like Lane's developers are going big on eco-friendly features. Solar panels, energy-efficient appliances, rainwater harvesting. They're taking sustainability seriously.
And that's something I'm always keen to hear about. It's great to see luxury and sustainability going hand in hand. But what makes Layan's approach to sustainability different? What sets them apart from other eco-conscious destinations?
That's a great question, and one we should definitely dig into. But first, let's actually picture what it's like to live in Layan with all those eco-friendly features. How does it impact your day-to-day life in those amazing villas?
That's a perfect lead-in to the next part of our deep dive. We'll be back after a short break to explore what it's really like to live in Layan. Welcome back to the deep dive. We're still uncovering the secrets of Layan, that hidden paradise in Phuket. Before the break, we were talking about how they blend luxury with eco-friendly living.
Yeah, it's that mix of sustainability and high-end living that really got me thinking. It's not just about being green, it's about making the whole experience better.
Right, but how does that actually work in real life? The article mentioned solar panels, rainwater harvesting, all that. But I'm curious about how it feels.
Okay, picture this. You wake up in your Layan villa, sunlight streaming in through these huge windows, and you've got this incredible view of the Andaman Sea. You step out onto your private terrace, maybe do some yoga overlooking the tropical gardens. Can you feel it?
Definitely sounds relaxing.
Yeah,
But where does the eco-friendly part come in? Is it just about the scenery?
it's all integrated, really. The villa's designed to use natural light and ventilation, so you don't need as much artificial light or air conditioning. Those solar panels on the roof are quietly powering everything, so you're not relying on the grid as much. And when you take a shower, you know the water's been responsibly sourced and conserved through those rainwater systems.
So it's not about sacrificing comfort or luxury for the sake of being eco-friendly. It's built right into the villa.
Exactly. It's all about finding that balance between modern living and taking care of the environment.
And I bet that goes beyond just the individual villas. What about the community itself?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The developers in Layan have really thought about this. Beautiful gardens with native plants that don't need much water, walking and cycling paths to encourage eco-friendly transport. Even the community facilities like the clubhouse and restaurants focus on local ingredients and sustainable practices.
Wow, it's like a whole self-contained ecosystem, minimizing their impact.
That's a great way to put it. It's about connecting with nature and the local community.
Speaking of the community, I'm curious about the cultural side of things. The article mentioned something about Layan blending Thai traditions with modern luxury. What's that all about?
Well, you can really immerse yourself in Thai culture while still enjoying the luxury. There are Buddhist temples nearby with intricate carvings and vibrant colors. You can see traditional rituals there. And the local markets. It's a sensory overload. Exotic fruits, spices, handmade crafts. Plus, you can get an amazing traditional Thai massage known for its healing properties and holistic approach to well-being.
So it's authentic, not just some manufactured tourist experience.
Right. It's about creating a sense of place where you get the best of both worlds, the authentic local culture and the luxury experience.
You keep saying best of both worlds, and it makes me think about the investment potential again. We talked about how Layan is attractive to investors, but what makes it different from other luxury property markets?
Well, the location itself is a big factor. Phuket is already a world-famous tourist spot, known for its stunning beaches and culture. Layan is kind of a haven within a haven, which makes it even more desirable.
So you're tapping into an already successful tourist market.
Exactly. And within Layan, there aren't many of these luxury properties, which makes them even more valuable. Plus, there's high demand for vacation rentals, which means strong rental yields.
Sounds like a smart investment. But I guess there are always risks with any investment,
Of
right?
course, you always have to be careful and do your research. Markets can change, tourism trends shift, and you never know what unforeseen events might happen.
So even though land looks promising, it's important to do your homework and talk to the experts, like Ocean Worldwide, for example.
Absolutely. They have the experience and local knowledge to help you assess the risks and make informed decisions.
Good to know. But let's move away from the business side for a moment.
Yeah.
I want to imagine what everyday life is really like in Layan. We've talked about the villas, the eco-friendly features, the cultural experiences, but can you walk us through a typical day?
All right, close your eyes. You wake up to the sound of birds and palm trees swaying in the breeze. After your morning yoga on your private terrace, you take a dip in your infinity pool, where the water seems to blend right into the sky.
Sounds idyllic. Then what? What does the rest of the day hold?
Well, you might enjoy a leisurely breakfast made with fresh local ingredients by your private chef. Maybe spend the morning exploring the beaches or head to one of the world-class golf courses for a round surrounded by stunning scenery.
For the more active types, Layan has it all. But what about those who prefer a slower pace?
Layan caters to everyone. You could spend the afternoon at a luxurious spa, getting a treatment designed to restore balance and harmony to your body and mind. or just chill by the pool with a cocktail and a good book. And as the sun sets, picture yourself having dinner with friends or family at one of Layan's top-rated restaurants, enjoying delicious Thai or international cuisine.
You really can tailor your day to whatever you're feeling. But what about the social scene? Is Layan all about privacy and solitude, or do people come together?
That's a good question. Layan offers a lot of privacy, but there's also a strong sense of community.
So it's not just about isolating yourself.
No, not at all. You're surrounded by people who appreciate the same things you do. The luxury, the tranquility, the sophisticated lifestyle. You might strike up conversations at the farmer's market, share recommendations for hidden spots, or bond over a shared love of yoga or sailing.
It's subtle, but the community is there.
Exactly. It's not forced. It's about genuine connection and respecting the peaceful vibe.
Layan seems to balance privacy and community really well. But with all this talk of luxury and exclusivity, is it even accessible to, well, normal people? What about those who aren't looking to buy a multi-million-dollar villa?
That's an important point. Layan is high-end, for sure, but there are ways to experience it without owning a property.
Oh, do tell.
You can rent many of these incredible villas for short stays. It's the perfect way to sample the Layan lifestyle before making any big decisions.
Like a test drive for paradise.
Think about it. You get to wake up in a beautiful villa, enjoy all the amazing amenities, and explore the area, all without the commitment of owning a property.
Sounds like an incredible vacation. But before we dive into those vacation rental options, I think we need to hear more about what it's actually like to be there. Whether you're renting or buying, what are some things to keep in mind?
Well, first of all, I always recommend booking through a reputable agency that specializes in luxury rentals. That way, you know the villa is going to be top-notch and you won't have any nasty surprises when you arrive.
Makes sense. You don't want to end up in a rundown shack when you were expecting a paradise.
Exactly. And it's always good to do your research. Read reviews from other guests, look at the location, get a feel for the surroundings.
Speaking of research, what about the cost of these vacation rentals? Is it only for the super rich, or are there options for those of us with more modest budgets?
While Layan is definitely a luxury destination, there are actually options for different budgets. You can find smaller, more affordable villas that still give you that Layan experience. Plus, splitting the cost with friends or family makes it even more accessible.
So a group trip to Layan could be within reach for more people than you might think. It's not just a millionaire's playground.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that Layan is about more than just money. It's a mindset, a way of life that emphasizes tranquility, connection, and appreciating the beauty of nature.
You've hit on something important there. We've focused a lot on the luxury and the investment side, but Layan seems to offer something deeper, right?
Absolutely. It's about slowing down, reconnecting with yourself and the natural world, and being more mindful. And those are values that anyone can embrace, regardless of their financial situation.
It's a good reminder that real luxury isn't just about fancy things. It's about finding peace, fulfillment, and connection. Maybe that's the most valuable thing we can take away from learning about Layan.
I couldn't agree more. As we wrap up this deep dive, I hope our listeners will think about what Layan represents to them. Maybe it inspires you to plan a vacation, look into investment opportunities, or simply bring those values of tranquility and connection into your own life. Layan offers a lot to think about.
Well said. So there you have it, a deep dive into Layan, the hidden gem of Phuket. We've explored the luxurious side, the eco-friendly initiatives, the rich culture, and the potential for both dream vacations and smart investments. Thanks for joining us on this journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep seeking out those hidden gems that make life extraordinary. Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We've been uncovering the allure of Layan, Phuket's hidden paradise.
It's been an amazing journey, right? From the stunning villas and sustainable living to the rich culture and investment potential.
Yeah, Layan really has it all. But before we wrap up, I want to bring it back to our listeners. What if you're intrigued by Layan, but maybe not ready to buy a property?
That's a great point. Owning a piece of paradise isn't for everyone, but that doesn't mean you can't experience Layan's magic.
So what are the options for those of us who want a taste of the Layan lifestyle without the commitment of buying a villa?
Well, a lot of those amazing villas we talked about are available for short-term rentals. It's the perfect way to try before you buy, you know?
The test drive approach. But seriously, even if you're not thinking about buying, a vacation rental in Layan Sounds pretty tempting.
It really is. Imagine waking up in one of those incredible villas, stepping out onto your private terrace and just soaking in those breathtaking views. You get to enjoy all those amenities we talked about, the infinity pools, the private chefs, the personalized service, without the long-term commitment.
And let's not forget the amazing surroundings. Pristine beaches, world-class golf courses, vibrant local markets. There's so much to explore.
Exactly. Whether you're looking for adventure or relaxation, Layan has something for everyone. You could spend your days exploring nearby islands, pampering yourself at a spa, enjoying delicious Thai food, or just chilling by your private pool.
It sounds like the ultimate getaway. But for those thinking about renting a villa in Layan, what are some things to keep in mind? Any tips for our listeners?
Definitely. First, I'd always recommend booking through a reputable agency that specializes in luxury rentals. That way, you know you're getting what you paid for, and there won't be any surprises when you get there.
Good point. You don't want to show up expecting paradise and end up in a rundown shack.
Exactly. And it's always a good idea to do your research beforehand, read reviews from other guests, look at where the villa's located, get a sense of the surroundings.
Speaking of research, what about the cost of these vacation rentals? Is it only for the super rich, or are there options for people with, normal budgets?
Layan is known for its high-end properties, for sure, but there are options for different budgets. You can find smaller, more affordable villas that still give you a taste of that Layan lifestyle. And splitting the cost with friends or family makes it even more accessible.
So a group trip to Layan could be a realistic goal for more people than you might think. It's not just a playground for millionaires.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that Layan is about more than just money. It's a mindset, a way of life that emphasizes tranquility, connection, and appreciating the beauty of nature.
You've hit on something really important there. We've talked a lot about the luxury and the investment potential, but land seems to offer something deeper, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's about slowing down, reconnecting with yourself in nature, and being more mindful. Those are values that anyone can embrace, no matter their financial situation.
It's a great reminder that true luxury isn't just about material things. It's about finding peace, fulfillment, and connection. Maybe that's the most valuable takeaway from our deep dive into land.
I couldn't agree more. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I encourage our listeners to think about what land represents to them. Whether it sparks a desire to plan a vacation, explore investment opportunities, or simply bring those values of tranquility and connection into their own lives, land offers a lot to think about.
Well said. So there you have it, a deep dive into Layan, Phuket's hidden gem. We've explored the luxury, the eco-friendly initiatives, the rich culture, and the possibilities for dream vacations and smart investments. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and until next time, keep exploring, keep dreaming, and keep searching for those hidden gems that make life extraordinary.